Hi, everybody. We are here to factor because everyone loves factoring. That includes you. That's right. You love factoring. So we are going to factor some today. This is mostly going to be a review for you. These problems aren't super difficult. Then there's an assignment afterwards. But here we go. This is how to factor when a equals 1. If you forget what the heck a equals 1 means, it's talking about with quadratics, you have this old thing, ax squared plus bx plus c, meaning there's three terms, and there's first term is the x squared, and the number in front of it is a, so a equals 1. And 1 times this just means basically it's not gonna be there. You're gonna have x squared plus stuff. That is what we're factoring today. So all these are x squared, n squared, k squared, whatever, but there's no number in front. We're not even doing GCF. So what you do, I use something called the X method, where you look at the last number, negative 18, and you put it in the bottom. And the number in the middle, you put on the top. And what you do is you look for numbers that will multiply to the bottom one and add to the middle one, or multiply to the last and add up to the middle. Now, depending on how good your number sense is, you might be able to get these right away, you might not, no judgment. But multiplying to 18, just think of numbers that multiply to 18. If you're not good at finding these numbers, in this case it's 9 and 2, I'll show you how later, but the easiest way to do this that will always work is just to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Seeing how many times these go into 18 until you eventually find it. So how many times does 1 go into 18? 18 times. How many times does 2 go into 18? 9. 3 times 6. 4 doesn't go into it. 5 doesn't go into it. 6 we already did. So as soon as you start going, you'll eventually just find everything that multiplies to 18. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going until they start repeating. Then you can look to see which of these can somehow make 7. So 1 and 18, those are not going to make 7. 2 and 9, yeah, that works. 2 and 9 will make 7 somehow, adding or subtracting. 3 and 6, if you add them, you get 9. If you subtract them, you get 3. So those aren't going to work. So 2 and 9 are our answers. So then you have to think about positive versus negative. In this case, since they have to add up to a negative number, that means one of these has to be negative. So if the 2 is negative, you'd get positive 7. But we're going to need this to be a negative 9 so we can get a negative 7. So we got 2 and a negative 9. What this means is that your answer is going to be x plus 2 and x minus 9. In the next one, multiplies to 45, adds up to 14. So I'm once again just going to write out every single thing it could be. So 1 and 45. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 does not go into it. 3 does. 3 goes into it 15 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 does not. 5 goes into it 9 times. 6 does not. 7 does not. 8 does not. 9 does. So then we're looping back up again. So this is everything that'll get you 45. And then you see if any of them can get you 14 when you add or subtract. So this one definitely not. 3 and 15 can get you 12 if you subtract them, or 18 if you add. But it looks like it's going to be 5 and 9. 5 plus 9. So 5 and 9. So n plus 5, n plus 9. There you go. I'll do these here. If you guys want to press the pause button and try them, you can. And then I'm just going to show you the answers and do them somewhat quickly. So, I love the pause button. Here we go. What multiplies to 28 and adds up to 11? Maybe it's 1 and 28. Maybe it's 2 and 14. Maybe it's 3, no, it's not 3. 4 and 7? 5 doesn't, 6 doesn't, 7 is back where we are. So it's definitely one of these. Looks like 4 and 7. So k plus 4 and k plus 7. This one, there's no number in front of this, so it's going to have to be a -1. So it's either 1 and 12, 2 and 6, or 3 and 4. Those will get you 12. In terms of, difference of 1, that's going to have to be this one. So since this is a negative, the bigger one's going to have to be negative. That's another trick. If this thing is negative, then that means the number on the right has to be negative, because the bigger one is negative, and the bigger ones will always be on the right. Aha! So 3 and -4, so you get x plus 3 and x minus 4. Don't know if you're asking this question or not, but it does not matter if you write this or the x minus 4 first. Both of these are correct answers. It does not matter the order you put them in. Here, multiplies to 10 adds up to 11. Let's see what multiplies to 10. There's 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. That one's going to be 1 and 10. Please never forget the 1. A lot of people, if they're confused, sometimes it's just they forgot about 1. So 1 and 10, x plus 1, x plus 10. And here we go, finally, what multiplies to 9 adds up to 6. Maybe it's 1 and 9. It's actually not. Maybe it's 3 and 3. That's what it is. So if we look at this, which of these will add up to 6? That is 3 and 3. So you get y plus 3 and y plus 3. In this case, you are allowed to write it, since this is the same thing twice. You can write it as y plus 3 squared. Both of these are acceptable. Depending on what unit you're in, one of them will be more beneficial than the other. Like if you're doing rational functions, it's better to do this in case you have to cross it out. If you're completing the square, then you have to do this. But these are both acceptable for now. So hopefully this helped if you needed it. There is a practice worksheet for you to do, so good luck with that. Have a great day, y'all.